Okay, you guys. I'll put that there. I'm going to start my timer and we'll get started. If you didn't see my email, I'm out at Ponca State Park for a few days getting a little R&R, but we'll still get our yoga in. Thank you for joining me online. I hope you can hear me. I'm right next to our cabin. Should be getting the Wi-Fi, but if I start getting mumbly or something, I can take the Wi-Fi off and use data, but just let me know. Okay, so let's get started in great posture. So think about putting as much of the weight as your body as you feel comfortable in your heels. And then if you have a seam in your pants, look and see if that seam is straight up and down. And you can see your hip joint coming up right over your ankle. Feet should be underneath the hips and pointing straight ahead. Oh, there's these little back bugs out here that are bitey. We'll see how this goes. Okay, and then the shoulder stacks over the ankle as well, so you're not forward or back. And then let the balls of the feet lightly land on the ground and the toes really soft. Should never be grabbing with your toes. They're only there to help you with balance. Okay, long bones of the feet pointing straight forward. Okay, let's shrug the shoulders up to the ears and then let them come down as low as they will go. And then actively, gently pull them down with the strength of your arms and your chest. Spread your fingers wide, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then relax them down again. And then gently tuck the chin down and the top of the head reaching up. So we're creating this nice long plumb line between the top of the head and the heel bone. And that's the way we're meant to take gravity through our bodies most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. Okay, let's take a few breaths in. As we do, we're going to reach the arms slowly up as far as you can comfortably move your arms, and then exhale back down. And as you do that, think about your elbows, your wrists pulling away from the center of your body as you reach up as far as you're comfortable with, and then back down. One more time. And then back down. Okay, let's take a little wider stance. Okay, as you take a wider stance, the feet will start to turn out and make sure your knees bend in line with the direction that your feet are pointing. And then we'll make a nice big X with the arms up as far as feel comfortable, and think about really pressing the elbow straight and the knees straight. So we don't lose that little bit of end motion that we have. And then we're gonna bend the knees and bend the elbows up and down. And then make sure as you come down, the butt leads the way so that you go into a nice squat. The knees should be not pressing over the toes as you come down into your squat. Just gently up and down. Not going all the way down as low as you think you might be able to go on the first try. You're watching me. I definitely did not go this low on the first couple repetitions. Now let's add the breath. Inhale on the way up. Exhale on the way down. Okay, let's stay at the bottom and then bring the hands into prayer pose. Really stick the tailbone out as far as you can behind you, and then bring the chest up as if you're trying to point your chest at me. That really helps to deepen the low back curve. Okay, let's stand all the way back out. Let's take a little bit wider step. Let's go back into that X position. Okay, this time we're gonna hinge from the hips. So the knees stay straight as the hips hinge, the butt goes out behind you, then the knees bend and the arms come down. Or sunflower. And let them gracefully cross in front of you and above you. Just taking the body through unique motions we don't do every day to help open things up and balance things out. Part of what I'm trying to do out here at Ponca is do things I don't do every day so that I don't lose the ability to do them. And it's kind of fun. And it's very pretty out here. When you get down in the trees, there's still a lot of color and then the wind blows a little bit and all these little leaves fall off the trees and it's like it's raining leaves and it's just so pretty. All right, let's relax out of that. And then we'll come to one end of the mat. And then we'll step forward with the right foot first. And then turn the hips so they're pointing toward the end of your mat. The front toes can be pointing in that same direction. Back toes can be pointing forward or a little out like a kickstand. Sink down into the front knee. And as low as you want to go. Just make sure the knee's not really pointing out in front of the foot. Close to 90 degrees is good. Okay, then we're going to take the hands behind the body, intertwine the fingers, and open the chest. I am going to shorten my stance a little bit because I can feel that a little too much in my back heel. We did some kind of steep trails this afternoon, and my calves got to work out. Okay, so as we've got the chest open, the fingers intertwined behind us, think about trying to lift the hands away from the body. And then we'll do just a little twist from side to side. And let's let that go. Think about locking the ribs down, engaging the core, holding the ribs down in line with the hips. And then we're going to come up into goalpost arms. So goalpost arms look like this. And then think about opening the elbows back behind you. So we're opening the chest again. And then let's let that go. Okay, all the little black bugs are finding me. So I might need to move a little bit more to keep them off of me. Okay, so find your depth of stance that feels good to you, and then sink down into that front foot, press the back heel down lightly, and let's go with hands behind us again. Or we might need to end early if they keep biting me. We'll see. Okay, lift the hands up if you can, if that feels comfortable to you. And then add a little gentle twist from side to side. Just whatever depth feels good to you. Okay, and then again, lock the ribs down, bring the arms up into goalpost arms, and open the elbows toward the back. And then let the arms come down. Okay, let's have the front foot forward again, left foot back. We'll sink down into that warrior one pose. This time, lock the ribs down again, and then slowly sweep the arms up as far as they will comfortably go with the ribs down. And then we're going to turn to our left to open the hips up a long ways with the mat, trying to keep that front knee stacked up, and then bringing the arms down and looking over the front right hand. If your upper body has gotten way forward, stack it back up. Really great breeze out here. Maybe that'll keep the little buggies away. And just breathe. Think about your heels pressing into the ground. Your toes should be very free to wiggle. You start losing your balance, you'll feel them kick in. But if they're tight and grabby to the ground, then it's hard for them to help you keep your balance. Okay, let's let the back hand come down. Front hand turns palm up and reaches as high as you feel comfortable reaching. And think about your reach not just being your arm and your shoulder, but also your rib cage is reaching up too. You can keep your gaze forward or up towards your hand, whatever feels comfortable. And let's bring that arm down. We'll find our way back to standing. Shake out anything you need to shake out. And then we'll do that on the other side. So the left foot will be forward, right foot will be back in that warrior one pose. Sink down. Okay. Take the arms behind. Sorry, that is not what we did. Okay. Let the arms go, lock the ribs down, sweep the arms up as far as they'll comfortably go, pain-free. Okay, then we'll turn to the right, turning the hips long ways with the mat, arms come down, look forward past your left hand. Darn little bugs. Stretching the arms away from each other, stack your spine up on your hips. And let's turn palm up, back hand rests. Lift, again, lifting from the bottom of the rib cage up. And let's let that arm come down. Okay, let's do a little bit of balance. Where are we at with time? Doing great. Okay, let's balance into the left foot. So as we're grounding through that foot, think about 60 to 70 to 80% of the weight in the heel, toes very relaxed because we will need them on a balance pose, but if we start with them tight, they can't help us too much. Okay, toes on the ground, balls of the feet on the ground, heel right over the ankle on the right foot or higher. And then one of the most important parts of this is to push down with the left hip all the way down through that heel. So you're lifting the rest of your body up and leveling out your hips. So we teach that hip to be strong in the best position to support us functionally. And then find whatever arm position feels best for you. It might be prayer pose. Open arm poses are always good. I'm going to go with open arm and straighten my elbows. And again, thinking about the top of the head raising up as you push down through the hip, down through the heel. And then find a focal point on the ground to look at or on a wall. Looking at me isn't a good idea because I will wobble or swat a bug, and that will throw your visual system, which is a super important part of balance. And then find your breath. See if you can relax as much of your body in this balanced position as you can and still maintain that height and that just right tension in your core and your hips to help you with your balance, but not over tighten your body. And on your next exhale, think about relaxing out of your pose. Okay, let's run through the same thing on the other side. So right, mostly heel, left on the ball of the foot, on the tip of the toe, or the foot comes up on the calf. Push down through the right hip, feel it push down through the heel. Find any pose. Can be the same or different. Oop. And then lengthen up toward the sky or the ceiling, perhaps. Find your breath. Relax through the face and neck. And on your next exhale, soften out of your pose. Wiggle out anything you need to. Okay, let's find the feet underneath the hips. We'll do a chair pose. And we're having the feet underneath the hips so the long bones of the feet will point straight forward. And then think about the hips going out behind you. You don't have to go to your deepest possible pose. Maybe half of what you think you can do. And then let's bring the hands into prayer. So we're creating that nice little back curve. Bring the chest up as far as you can. And then the gaze goes forward. We'll try a little movement with this pose. So find your right hand, and we're going to bring the right hand to the left knee, and the left hand can rotate just up as far as it'll comfortably go. So we're rotating mostly through the thoracic spine, which is about where the bra line is, creating a little mobility there and through the shoulder blade. Again, it doesn't have to be very far, just whatever your body tolerates. Come back down to prayer pose, and we'll do the same thing other side. So left hand finds the right knee, and then we rotate up as far as possible, feels comfortable. Think about the thumb being forward or up as well. That'll help protect the bicep. Okay, let's come back to prayer pose. Let's come to standing, and then we'll go back into it. I must be delicious. Okay, let's go back into it. Okay, really make sure you feel the weight in your heels. Your booty is out behind you. You're finding some low back curve. This time the right hand can go back to the left knee or all the way to the ground, and we'll find that rotation. Again, whatever depth of rotation works for your body. Back to center, other direction. Back to center, up to standing. Right, time. Okay, good. Okay, let's left foot forward. We're going to have the toe pointing forward, and then we're going to toe touch in the back. Arm's going to be soft, and the knee is also going to be soft. We don't want it super locked out on this balance pose. And then arms relaxed, and then slowly think about lifting the back toes, but you're going to really focus on what's happening in your left foot and your left hip. So left hip is pushing down through the heel bone. The ball of the foot and the toes are just helping us keep balance in this one-legged pose. And that back foot is slowly coming up until you feel that just right sense of I'm challenged, but I feel stable. And teaching your body to find that is really important. And arms, in a lot of poses, you see the arms in a really stiff position. I want your arms relaxed, because when our arms stay relaxed, they can move quickly to help us regain our balance. And that's a more functional way, I think, to practice a balance pose, especially a one-legged balance pose. Sorry, you can come on anytime. Okay, other side. Okay, same thing. So the weight in the right foot, feeling it mostly in the heel, a soft knee, straight but soft. Toe touch in the back. Press down through the right hip. Also, you feel it pressing through the heel, kind of lifting your body a little bit, upper body. Arms relaxed. And then we start to tip, bringing that back toe off. Feeling that stability in the hip. As you start to bring that back leg up. Practicing one-legged poses are very helpful in creating the strength we need to do things like stairs, walking down hills. It's also a really good diagnostic because you can figure out if you're weaker or stronger on one side. And then you just spend more time on the side that you're a little weaker. Let's come out. Okay, let's go down on our knees. If you need to, if you have sensitive knees, you can grab a pillow or a rolled up blanket or a pad or another yoga mat to put under your knees. We're just going to do tall kneeling. And you have the option to flatten your toes and have the weight on the tops of your feet. I think it's always a good idea to tuck your toes under if that's comfortable enough to do, because that's a place where we frequently lose range of motion. And it can be really important for walking, for balance, and for getting off the floor. Okay, let's take the right leg out to the side. And you can point your toes in whatever direction feels good. We're going to focus on an inner thigh stretch first. So the hips are going to go back and then towards the bent knee side. And when you do that, you should feel a nice stretch. It might go all the way from the pelvic floor all the way down past the knee for some people. And then put your hands wherever they feel comfortable. So we can just focus on providing a little opening in this area to work out any tension that we rarely give this space a lot of attention, and we can get really tight and bound up in here, not even realize it. And for a lot of us, especially when we teach the self-treatment workshop, so many people find tenderness on the inner calf and then the inner thigh. And that's just because we don't get in this. And then those layers of fascia get kind of bound up and sticky. Okay, let's come back up and we'll switch our knees out. Give our left knee a rest. Okay, once you're up in your tall kneeling position, you've got your foot kind of locked down over there. The hips go back and then to the bent knee side, to the right. So your tailbone's kind of pointing off to the side. Hands wherever they feel like they're helping to support you. If you have blocks, you can use blocks. I did not bring blocks out here. Find your breath in your belly. Relax shoulders. Okay, and let's slowly come back up. We'll switch our knees out one more time. Okay, this time we're gonna keep that tall kneeling, so we're not sticking our butt out or anything. We're gonna slide the right hand down the right leg, and the left hand's gonna go straight up and then over. The arms up as far as feels comfortable for you, that whatever range of motion you can create. If you feel your ribs popping out, lock them down. Taking the opportunity to open up the side body a little bit. Another place we don't give a lot of attention to. Breathe. Okay, we're gonna let that top arm swing down and then we're gonna twist. So bring the spine a little long and tall and then twist. Slowly sliding down. You might feel a nice pull all the way along the left side. And then let's come back up and we'll switch our legs out again. Okay. So let's let the right arm go up and then over. Breathe. Let that arm come forward, lengthen through the spine again before you twist it. And then come back up. We'll go all the way down to the mat now to get a deeper twist through the hips or stretch through the sides of the hips, I should say. Okay, so we'll have the knees up and then let's drop the knees to the right first. And then open up into your Z-sit. Okay, then we'll rotate to the right. A nice long straight arm stretch. So we're lifting the chest as high as we can. So now we're really twisting through the low spine instead of the upper spine to maintain and create mobility in that space. And then go ahead and walk the arms into whatever position feels good for you, where you're getting a nice stretch through the hip, maybe a little through your abdominal space. You can bring your face all the way to the ground if you like. We'll stay here for a little bit to stretch through the hip. I do not know how these little black bugs that are so tiny can have such a ferocious bite to them. All right, let's go to the other side. So we'll come back up. We'll drop our knees to the left, open up into the Z-sit, twist to the left, long arm stretch through the spine. So we feel that nice deep twist. And then go ahead down into whatever version of your pose you would like. You can keep the long arms or you can come all the way down to the mat to continue stretching through the hip or wherever your body is feeling it. This morning when I got up, behind the trees here is a big ravine. It almost goes not straight down, but really steep. Like I wouldn't want to go down it or up it. And then it kind of ravines, and then it gets to the river. And this morning it was foggy and it was completely fogged in over the trees and the sun was coming up behind it and it was just so pretty. It was so pretty. And then it ended up being a gorgeous day, which is great because tomorrow we have 50% chance of rain and then highs in the low 50s. So we will see. But if you have not been to Ponca State Park, it is just so beautiful in the fall. All right, let's go down to our tummies. I'm actually going to turn around because I'm going down downhill. Okay, and think about your elbows being right underneath your shoulders. And then if you need to lay all the way flat for a little bit, that is absolutely fine. Go ahead and do that. If you're comfortable with this much extension in your spine, push down with your shoulders and try to lift your head as far as you can. And a little side to side motion. So we're getting multiple things here. We're getting abdominal stretch, which is rarely woven into a class, and then a little motion of the deepening of the lumbar curve in the spine. And then also a little movement through the shoulders and scapula. Anytime I can get multiple thing benefits out of what I'm doing, that is a good thing. Okay, let's turn on to our right side and get a little hip flexor stretch in. So we'll reach back for the ankle and pull into from the knee all the way up to the groin. You might be feeling it in different spots depending on where you're tight. And if you're up on your elbow, you might be feeling a little stretch on your right side too, and through your shoulder. If that's uncomfortable, you can always go down onto your arm. All right, I am going to switch this way now. Other side. Check my time. 10 minutes left. Okay. Reach back for the top ankle. Pull it on back. Let's let that go. Let's go to hands and knees. Little cat cow. I just got a ladybug in my ear. There you are. I think what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to skip Shavasana because if I lay still out here, I will be totally eaten alive. All right, let's get a little bit of bird dog, some bird dog in here. So make sure the arms are right underneath the shoulders. And if you cannot do an arm and a leg at the same time, that's okay. Let's reach the left leg back and the right arm forward or just a leg, and then lift. Really trying to only lift as far as you can be completely still through your shoulders and your hips. Because this, again, is as much a diagnostic as it is a strengthening mobility exercise. Okay, let's come down. Let's do the other side and just pay attention. Does one side feel more difficult, more challenging than the other side? And back down. Let's do the other side again. Left leg, right arm. Right leg, left arm. And down. Let's go back into a child's pose. A nice stretch for the shoulders, maybe a little side to side rocking. Okay, we've got about 7 minutes left. So let's just find whatever seated pose feels comfortable for you. Well, we haven't done, let's throw in a quick little twist before we end. So find any seated pose that feels comfortable for you, whether it's kneeling like I am or cross-legged pose or a long sit. Let's do a little upright twist. So our hips are grounded. We're going to just think about your hands on your lower ribs and just use the muscles of your ribs to turn and then place your hands. Think about your head going straight up After we do our twist, then we'll just do a little breath work. And if you want to have a Shavasana, you can do that on your own. I know you can all do Shavasana. All right, let's turn back forward. Okay, and rotate. And then place the hands, thinking about the arms or the head going up. And then forward. I know if I was a super good yogi, I would be able to tolerate everything going on around me, but I'm not there yet. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. We'll take one big breath. Bring the hands to the heart and namaste. Thank you so much.